What is up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Side Hustle Experiment podcast. Today, we got our boy Sadeq, big fan of the pod. He's always in the comments telling all the fans to get rich. He's a seven-figure Amazon seller. He is still in college. He is doing this with a torn Achilles he just had repaired, so we thank him for that. What is going on, man? Thanks for being here.
Yes, sir. Thanks for inviting me on, guys. I love this podcast, so it's cool to be on it.
That's the only reason we had him on. We wanted to clip that right there.
Right there. Now it's over. Dude, I was looking at the comments. You're always comment. You're always on social media and stuff, dude. I think you kind of put on a masterclass, whether you know it or not, for younger people in this space. If you're going to be on there and you're going to support a lot of guys and you're always going to be cool with people and all that shit, it's going to pay dividends for you. And I'm sure it has. I mean, as you know, I've helped you out a little bit with some stuff and it pays dividends. So if anybody watches Sadeq, you should just watch him move like him because it works out. That's how you get places here.
Sure.
Yeah, bro, 100%. It's already paid off. Some random guy I haven't talked to in 6 months sends me the best lead I've bought all year. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, that's awesome. You want to give everyone a little background, maybe how you got started in reselling, and then how you kind of got involved in Amazon.
Yeah. So, back when I was 16 years old, I was working at Papa John's during lockdown, and the season was starting to was getting back rolling in December for basketball. I played basketball all 4 years in high school, and I knew I couldn't really work a job and play basketball. It's just not how it goes. There was 3.5 hour practices every day, school, homework, all that stuff. So I knew I had to figure out a way to make money online. So I just somehow stumbled across the sneaker reselling. I paid a group, Discord group, $20 a month, and it was basically just a full-on leads list. And the first month ever, I was making $1,200 a month, which is what I was making at Papa John's. So I was like, this is awesome. This is insane. And I just started scaling and scaling and scaling. Eventually launched my own Discord group just because I got really good at it. Made that a paid wall. And then a few years later, about 2 years later, sneaker reselling started to die out a little bit, and all my buddies were hopping on Amazon. So I'm like, this is perfect. This is an awesome transition, just because the volume's so much more,
Yeah, that's all. What did your parents think when you first started doing kind of the reselling? Because you were really young, you're still in high school, and this was how long ago was this? Because reselling's not like it is today. My parents kind of know about it, but let's call it 5 years ago, they would have no clue.
Yeah, it was end of 2020, so I was 16, and my parents are super supportive. Everything me and my brothers do. My two other brothers, they both run businesses as well. They're just super supportive.
Wow.
So what about your sneaker stuff? Do you have any cool sneaker stories with that? Because I started the same way back when I was I think I started when I was 14. I was buying stuff off Facebook, cleaning them up and putting them on eBay. And I don't even think I was making money, but the sales were going up, so I felt good about it. But dude, how'd you kind of start with the sneakers? Because I don't know if Yeezys were around then, right? Or were they?
No, they were. I didn't really necessarily do too much hype sneakers, so the Jordans and the Yeezys. I was doing more, it's called brick flips, where it's just, just trying to get shoes for as cheap as possible and flipping them for below retail or right at retail, which is sort of similar to the Amazon stuff. Mm-hmm. And the craziest flips I had was it was my first 5K profit month, and I was either a junior or a senior, and it was literally just all black Vapor Max 2021s, just the standard ones. And I was buying base.
Just wanted to take a quick break to let you know I launched a school community called Advanced Arbitrage Tactics. I'd love to have you in there. We have a online arbitrage crash course, has about 15 videos, how you get started, a community of awesome people. We literally just did a back to school call, how to crush back to school, showed you exactly how to find back to school products using Keepa, all this other stuff. There's a bunch of other guides in there. Community, we do bi-weekly calls, Q&A, all that stuff. If you are interested, there will be a link below, and I hope to see you inside the school.
Sizes, which is basically grade school sizes, or women's sizes, and I was selling them for $100 profit per, just because they were just super rare.
Yeah, where did a lot of those brick flips come from? I know Nordstrom had some stuff like
Nike
that.
Nike was the biggest by far, just because back then it was 40% discounts, 20 on 20, 30%. It was insane.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. I never got into that type of thing, but I knew a lot of guys that did. I used to be, when COVID started, I had a friend that was like 14, 15 years old that I was talking to online. He did that same type of thing. He was in that. He put up 180 grand profit in 2020. I couldn't even
Dude,
believe it. He was like
that-
14 years old. Yeah. He was doing shoes and like pools. It was crazy. That was like, how are these kids hustling so hard at like
No,
14?
looking back at it too, like all the guys that came out of sneakers that I still know to this day, it's like, bro, some of these kids have like $500,000 and they're like 20 years old. I'm like, dude, if I knew about like business credit, or if I went all in, it's like, bro, I would have been so much richer.
Yep. That's how it works. Well, so on Amazon now, how's your operation go? And like, what do you do per year?
This year I'm going to try to go in between 1.5 and 2 mil, right around like 130K a month right now. Probably hit that right on the mark again this month. Yeah, it's just it's me, admin VA, and I recently got 2 sourcing VAs with they're split with my buddies.
Oh, sweet.
Smart.
Yeah, 130K. It's not too bad. That's like
awesome.
that's around where I was, I believe, when I was back in the day. Now, now that I'm gone. But yeah, that's it. What about that sourcing VAs? Tell a bit about that, because I know that's a little bit of a difficult journey sometimes, right?
I completely lucked out. My buddies had 2 of his for a year, and I saw the leads list they were providing, and it's actually like insane. Like they come out of a sale finding more stuff than me, and it's like it's just awesome. I got completely lucky just by knowing these guys.
Dang.
Yeah.
Do you
They
care?
invite you in. They're just like, hey,
They
man.
they just invited me in and said we could just split it. I'm like, perfect. Okay, cool.
What motivated you to go on the social media and do all that stuff? Because you kind of, I feel like you've been here for a while at this point, right?
Yeah, probably like a year and a half at this point. I don't know. It's just I see guys crushing it. I want to either know what they're doing or I want to be in their circle, just because it's like we can all just help each other make more money as a result, and that's exactly like what's happened.
Yeah. Who got you into this space? Was there anybody specific?
I remember seeing like Miles and KT Hustle stuff a lot.
Nice.
Yeah.
They're the OGs now, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But very funny. I don't know if people like really know this, is that when I started my stuff in 2020, those guys were like same followers as me. Like we were all at the same thing. Now those guys are like the biggest dudes ever, and I'm like gone. So it's funny to see, and they're like around my age too, but they're killing it. So good for them. But yeah. What else you got, John? You got any lines of questions?
Yeah, I actually wrote down a bunch. So that's why I'm like looking over here. What do you think if someone like wants to get started? Like, what would be the initial steps for them to like kind of get going, or what would you recommend?
Yeah, I don't think it's changed since when I started either. Like all I did was just binge watch YouTube as much as possible and try to like meet and talk to other guys around my level or a little bit above me, just to build with them. And yeah, it comes down to a lot of YouTube University of just learning as much as humanly possible. Like Buy Box Bandits, I watched a lot of. Clear the Shelf, I watched a lot of. All those podcasts are great. And then you just talk to other guys who are doing the exact same thing, and it's kind of impossible not to grow if you just keep putting in the reps.
Yeah, for sure. And I think I see you too. Like you're in a lot of different groups and stuff. You're in the school community, so I appreciate you for being in there. So yeah, it's just all just about leveling up. And I think a lot of people like kind of, I don't know. It's like funny. I was talking about someone this the other day. Oh, we were talking about the influencer program, and a lot of people do like 100 videos or 200 videos, and they're like, "I'm only making $20. Like, this isn't like I don't know, is this worth it?" It's like, no, dude, you need to like make 1,000 videos, and then like you'll start to make like 1,000, $2,000. Like, I think people have it like flipped upside down, where they're like, "Oh, I watched like an hour sourcing video on your YouTube channel." I'm like, yeah, there's like 300 other videos on there. Like, go watch those. Like, you gotta like get acclimated and like keep watching stuff. And we were a big fan too. We talked about this maybe on the last 2 podcasts of like watching the content like 2 or 3 times, because you like see something different, hear something different. Like if you watch one of my videos like a year ago and then you watch it now, like you're gonna have a much different take on like what to do with that information.
Yeah, 100%.
Yep. So did you start big numbers now that, since you came from the reselling stuff, or did it like, was there any clicking point for you along the journey?
I was, even when I started Amazon, it was like August of 2022. I was still doing like eBay, StockX, and Goat, just because that was still like, it was more profit than Amazon, just because I was trying to get like familiar with the platform and everything. And it was like a 6 months transition period of like my GOAT, StockX, and eBay numbers like declining as my Amazon numbers were going up.
What made you move away from the StockX and Go stuff? I know there's no returns on there, right? So
There's
that's
no returns, which is so good. But like it was just slower, and I wanted to make more money, so I just saw the Amazon opportunity.
When you say slow, what are you like kind of talking? Like you buy, let's say you got sneakers today. I don't know how it works. You list them or say you have them. Like what happens next? Like maybe how long does it take?
Yeah, a good flip will sell like a couple times per week. So like if I buy like a LeBron of a size 8.5, it probably sells a few times a week. But if I buy that same LeBron and list it on Amazon, it probably sells a couple times a day, which is like a lot more, you know?
Did you have like trouble getting like product since the stuff was like more rare, or like to do more volume with it?
Because eventually it's like it's such a simple game where you get really, really good at it, one, and then two, you just pay brick groups for leads lists, and it's like a lot of the times it's like time sensitive. So if you're there on, you might be able to clear stock on a website by yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, that stuff's so fun, man. Just like sitting in Discord all day, and if you could check out like 100 pairs, yeah, that's like that's the life. So, what was I gonna say? I don't know, John. You go ahead.
I was gonna say. So, what is kind of your criteria? Like, what do you determine like a product that's like worth investing in? Do you kind of have like ROI criteria, or kind of how do you go about that?
Yeah, throughout all the categories, I normally try to stay around 30% ROI. I did a podcast with Jeff. Jeff sends it. He does like 25 mil a year, and we were on the same listing. And I was like, I'm down to take 20% ROI on this thing because I sold thousands of units of it last year with like 4 returns total. I'm like, that's perfect. Like I'll take that day and night, and it sells a couple hundred units a month. But a lot of my catalogs like shoes and apparel too, so it's like I gotta stay like 40% ROI, $15 just for the returns and everything.
What's your return rate looking like?
Last year was just under 9%.
Oh, 9's really good then.
For sure. Because there's a lot of other things mixed in, but most of the revenue comes from shoes.
Oh, nice. The cash back on that stuff's sweet too. It keeps that high average order value. Yeah, people always ask me that. It's like how you have that high average order value, and I'm like, it's shoes, man. Like if you sell a few $200 pair of sneakers, like you're not going to outpace that selling $15 soap or whatever, you know?
Yeah, it's tough.
Yeah. But 9% is super impressive. How is it that low? I feel like it was just
I sold thousands of units of I'll just tell you guys now because I don't really care anymore. It was garbage bags. So like I sold thousands of garbage bags.
Wow.
And that like balances it out. And then it's like I'll mix in some like health and household or whatever.
Oh,
that's smart to lower it down. Are you doing wholesale with that, or are you doing OI?
No. OI.
Do you have any desire to get into wholesale?
I did, and now it's like not really anymore. It just I don't know. There's systems you can build, and like if you talk to enough people, like I talk to the same couple of guys every day. If we just send what we buy to each other, assuming it's like a decently like volume listing, it's super easy to spend. Like half of my spend per month is probably I probably didn't even find it.
That's smart. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the big thing too. Like everyone always asks me, like, "Are you getting into wholesale? You're getting into wholesale?" It's like, nah. Like I have something that's like working really well right now, and like I don't see the need to like rock the boat. And it is interesting too. Obviously, you probably have like if you're selling like thousands of garbage bags or were like the new inventory fee, or whatever it was. Like how they changed it to where it's like if you don't sell more than 20 units a week, like you're not going to be charged a fee. Like I feel like I have the perfect catalog for that exactly. Like it's really rare that I'm buying something that's selling more than like $100 a month, and it just kind of equals out like that. Like at this point, I'm going more like higher rank stuff, with no sales rank or like really tricky keep it charts that like really work out well, and the profit's much higher. And then like I'm just kind of in the cycle where it's like that long lag time like doesn't bother me anymore because like it's like just in the cycle. It sucked at first, but it's definitely interesting now with that. I feel like a lot of wholesale people I talk to or private label really feel that pain of like that inventory fee. Like you have to have X amount there or we're charging you and all this other stuff.
Yeah, 100%. What made you decide really like? I'm sure you've been enticed by the wholesale. I'm sure people talk about like, is there any like glaring reason that you didn't? Because like John said, I think a lot of people think that's like greener pastures or whatever. But from my understanding, it's not as green as people may say it is.
I think we have the same viewpoint on this as well. Like, I don't think it's a safer business model than OA, like, at all. They're going to trust Walmart and they're going to trust Nike more than some distributor, like random distributor in the US. Like, I've heard so many horror stories of like buddies of mine who like got inauthentics or IPs or whatever, and they submit their invoice, they know it's real or whatever, and Amazon just doesn't take it. And I'm like, that's like out of my control. I don't want to have to deal with that, you know?
Yeah, this is an invoice from like AAA Supply. Amazon's like, who the hell is this?
No, it's true. And then on top of it, like, it's like a whole different business. I think people think, well, that's what all the wholesale guys say. Well, it's a natural transition. It's not really. It's like completely different. You're cold calling, you're making relationships, you're trying to provide value to these wholesale companies, unless you're just going to lie to all of them. I guess if you lie to them, then it's kind of natural transition. And then you don't have a lot of capital, right? Like, and you can't, are you going to put it on a credit card and you lose money due to the transaction fees? I don't know. I probably have a rudimentary understanding of it, but I think OA is fine for most people. I don't think people should think that wholesale is like the way they should go or whatever.
Yeah, 100%. And then there's just so much opportunity. Like, again, with Jeff, like 20 million a year operation, there's plenty of other guys like him that we just haven't heard of yet. And I know this too, because it's like, I'll do 6 figures in a month, and I know for a fact I've missed dozens of sales across the last month.
Yep.
Yeah, for sure.
So tell about this Jeff guy. I've never even heard of this. I don't follow the Amazon FBA space anymore, but who's this guy? I saw someone talk about some big seller, and I know some of the biggest sellers like literally on Amazon in this whole space, and I've never heard anybody even close to those numbers OA.
Yeah, I DM'd you about him on Twitter. I was like, "Is it this guy?" And you're like, "I don't think it's that guy." And he does 25 mil a year, 5 mils wholesale, and the other 20 is OA. And he has like a bunch of like stateside purchasers and orders and everything, no VAs, and it's just like a massive operation.
Damn. Do you have any insight of like? What I don't understand is how you go 20 mil. You're probably spending $10 million a year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What the fuck website lets you do that? Like where do you even spin that across, right? Like
you see, it's like that, and then it's also, I mean, like the sites that cancel or like have you hard banned or whatever. He has like 13 buyers with all different information. Yeah. It's like the buying power of 13 dudes who know what they're doing. It's a whole different game.
I see. Yeah.
So he did if anyone wants to, he did a interview with Clear the Shelf, and that was one of their questions, like, how would you spend 60 grand on a website? He's like, I would spend 5 and 10 other people spend 5. And like part of the deal is like they get the cash back, like they get the credit card points. So like they basically work for him, and he's just like dispersing, like he has like 10 OA buyers basically.
Damn.
I forgot how the system works. It's like he has all these buyers, and does he have VAs or he doesn't have VAs?
He doesn't have VAs.
Okay, yeah. But he basically just has buyers. And he was saying that, it was like, it caught my attention. He's like, he gets a lot of like ex-Amazon sellers who like don't want to do the business anymore, but like know how to source really well. And then he'll like pay them commission. And then they get the cash back, and like they don't have to leverage credit or anything like that. So it was like, if you decide to go work for him, like, you know a lot of shit. And then instead of you leveraging your capital, you get to keep the cash back, so free and clear, credit card points. And then I don't know how the commission structure works, but like if he's putting up all the capital and loses on it, it looks like you just don't get paid commission. So like you're up all around. Like it's like a win-win.
How did he say you had the capital to do it?
I have no idea.
The only reason I ask this stuff, I'm like a naturally super skeptical dude. So I'm always, every guy that pops up on social media, and I still think, I don't know this guy, so I'm not talking shit. But everybody I see on social media that pops up, I'm always like, that's really odd that happens. Like I've saw a lot of those guys pop up like here and there. And you know what's prime is that's the prime guy to sling info like crack, is guys that pop up like that. So that's why I'm always like super inquisitive towards these type of personalities, because you do see them all the time. There was even a guy on Twitter that popped up, the Jim Bob guy or whatever, which that guy's like anti-info. But I was like, man, he's the most prime candidate, because he's like, look at what I've got going over here by myself. you always see those kind of characters pop up. So that's the only reason I'm like inquisitive about it. And I talked to guys, like I talked to one of the biggest sellers on Amazon just the other day on a Zoom call. And he said they'd spend, I don't know, 300K a month OA or whatever, which I guess is around the same numbers, right? If that's how much he was doing. I think that's what he said. But he was like, well, you can't really spend a lot at OA. I can only spend 300K a month. I was like, dude, that's a ton.
Yeah, only 10K a day. Like, shit.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I guess when you're at that level, it's just a whole different ball game altogether.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting. I feel like I'm going to try to. They actually asked me to be on their podcast, but then I think they're in Vegas now or something. So it got like all delayed and pushed back. But I'll get them on here too, because that would be like super interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
And he, like, no offense to him, like, he looks like the last guy who's going to sling information.
Really? Yeah, I got to watch his
100%.
pod or
Oh,
something.
Jeb, yeah, I don't think he sells anything.
No, they have a free Discord, and that's it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But well, I don't know. That's interesting. What other kind of personality? Who are like the people you like watch in the space? I guess. Yeah. If you could give people, some people they should look at if they're in the Amazon side of things.
Content wise, like Miles is obviously good. Buy Box Bands is good. This podcast is good. And Clear the Shelf. Like those are like three really good ones. Like I don't think you need much more past that.
Yeah, that's pretty good advice. That's what I would
Yeah,
say.
we're up there with Miles and Chris. Damn.
So you have like Flips or Miles and the Buy Box Bandits where they like have 200 plus episodes or whatever. And they cover everything. And then you have Clear the Shelf where it's like a lot of tactical things. And then it's you guys who like talk about things no one else likes to talk about. So it's like, it's all around.
Hey,
Yeah, we talk about the stuff they don't talk about. That was kind of how this podcast started. We're just like, we're not gonna like just go like, oh, like this is we're gonna get into the nitty gritty. Like, I think our first episode we talked about how it was either the first or second one how we've lost like collectively like probably call it 40, 50 grand just like on inventory like throughout our journeys and like the craziness. But yeah, no, I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah, me too. I think it's just a realistic message. I think I see a lot of times it's like a hyper positive message. It's like, dude, no business is hyper positive, especially this one, because you can take really big L's and like really fuck yourself over. And you never really hear about it because those people just leave social media. They don't tell you how big they're. They just delete their account and they're done.
There's like dozens of dudes who have gone private with no profile picture on Twitter that used to be killing it. And then you go look at their storefront because everyone wanted everyone's storefront. And they have nothing in there.
Yeah, it's like constant.
That's how.
That's why I'm trying to stay on social media a little bit, so people don't think, oh, he quit because he's just like dead broke now. Because that's not the case. But it's like a lot of people just pop up, they just say stuff for a little while, and they're like, whoa, you never hear from them ever again. And guys that were putting up huge numbers too, 150K, 200K a month, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's stuff like crazy, just how like the market like kind of swayed and like. It's just funny, like you've been in this space like a while now, and like you just see certain things, and you just know people are just like full of shit. Like you could fool people for a little bit, and then like once you do 100K a month, like you know what it takes to get to 100K, and then you could like look at you're like this shit does not add up because like that's not even possible, like mathematically speaking. Like you can't make that much profit, like. If you're saying like if you spent what it just doesn't make any sense. Like I'm on this one email list now and the person keeps saying like this is their new claim to fame. They're like every month I make enough money to buy a Porsche. And it's like if you don't have a Porsche, like you're not like you don't make enough money to have a Porsche. Like it's just so ridiculous some of the shit that's like being said now. And it's just hilarious to kind of like see some of this stuff. And I know this person's storefront, and they have like 60 ASINs. I'm like, there's no way in hell. Like, and they're not like high volume. Like, it's just so ridiculous.
You can see it in like real time too, where they'll go from like a 40K revenue month to like 220, and then they claim a 20% margin, and then it's like they're gone in 6 months.
Yeah,
it happens so much.
Well, I think the reason like mathematically that happens is people scale on these like credit cards because they just give them big limits. What people don't understand is when you're in a business that makes 10%, or let's just even say 20%, like let's act like that's true. if you mess up big time, you have to like actually like you're only making 20% of what you sell. And if you buy all this stuff, you have to make a lot of profit to make up for these huge losses you take. And like I don't know, you can do the numbers on it, you know what I mean? But it's like 1/5. I don't feel like going through the math, but that's why these people explode. Is you like spend 40K to make what 7-8 grand, but then if you lose the 40K, now you're out like 5 months of profit. And I think that's what happens with people because I got in a situation where I had lost like 30K at once, or I thought I was going to, and I'm like, damn, I just worked half this year for free. Like there goes all my money. It just like disappeared into thin air. If that happens to you a few times, you're just destroyed. I saw a guy on Twitter talking about that. He had got 1,500 units removed or something. I'm like, bro, I would be way off. I would be off the planet. I just wouldn't talk to anybody. He launched a Discord, I think, but that's another way.
Oh yeah, that's the next logical move if you're not doing well. Launch Discord. It is funny because like there was something last year that I like crushed. Like I started picking up in like June, July. It went well. August I doubled down on it, and then it went to shit. Like everyone else like caught up, and like $5,000 worth of profit turned into like negative like $500. Like so like 3 months of profit was great, but then when I had to liquidate all the shit, like it was a seasonal item. People were starting to return it because like the season was over, and like it was also like Amazon checked it in late. There was like all sorts of stuff that like went along with it, but it was just like I was like buying like I bought like 200 was the last buy. I'm like this is going to be amazing. The guy's making like I don't know $15 to $20 on these things. And then, like, other people caught on, and the price just obliterated. I think I was selling it for what I paid for it. Like, that's how bad it got. But, like, I had to liquidate it. I was like, this has been here for 3 months. Like, it's just taking up too much space. And, like, the price still hasn't recovered. Like, I was looking at the other day, because this is about the time I started picking it up, and the price is, like, $20. At the height, it was, like, 60, 70. It was just so insane.
Yeah, that was a lead you sent me. I got a bunch of those in my garage right now.
Yeah, exactly. I had so many I was giving away for like we do like the Secret Santa or whatever. I did this year and I was like, I got 20 of these. Like I can't bring all 20. Like they don't even like fit in the car. Like and then like I was like, I ended up throwing I don't know, I might actually have like 5 more here in the closet, but yeah.
You took any big L's? Sadeq, what's your biggest Amazon L?
I haven't had any of them like you guys, but I don't know. It's like I would buy I think it was like I just bought hundreds of shoes from Nike very early on, and I had to sell it for like break even or whatever, and probably lost money after the returns and all the fees and everything, but nothing too crazy.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, when people tell me stories like that, most of them ever lost like $700. I'm like, dude, that's so crazy. I've watched 10K vanish multiple times, and it just happens all the time to me. Maybe I'm just not very good at keeping track of money, but yeah. Well, that's not too bad. So what kind of struggles have you had overall with it? Have you had any like struggles with business, or are you just like always just chugging along?
Oh no, I've lost like 50K before and like backdoor deals in sneakers when I was like 18, and then I took like it was so bad.
We'll talk about that. How'd you lose 50K?
I was basically using like a backdoor provider of like it was people who supplied hype sneakers, and they were doing like very well, and like we were doing good business for a very long time, and then eventually they got like scammed or whatever, and then I was out a bunch of money. I don't really know the whole story or whatever, but I went through like the whole lawyer process and all that stuff too at like 18 years old when I was in high school. Like it was miserable, but I mean, whatever now.
So what happened? So you like so they were basically like a wholesaler that got like hype sneakers?
They were basically just like buying bulk off of like people who were like botting or whatever, and then they would just sell it at marked up price just to wholesale and make money. And then there's obviously like room for margin for me on like apps or if I have like clients or whatever. And that's what I was doing for a bit, like not too long at all. And I would start off with like a $500 order, went up to like 5K or whatever, and eventually we got to like a couple orders that just weren't getting delivered. And no, it was bad. It was very bad. But I mean,
Did it involve the Zendaya sneakers guy? You remember those
I
guys?
think it was. I think it was like involved with those guys. So yeah, I wasn't buying from him, but I think
Are
those
those
guys
the
were.
people who are on Instagram that like never showed their face? Like their face was like blurred out, and then like they're just in front of all these sneakers.
No, I don't know what that concept was about, but I don't. It wasn't them. It was like actually like a super reputable guy who just got screwed.
Well, there was
Yeah.
also like another person who I think was his mom worked for Nike or something. And
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you got access to all these hype shoes and all this other stuff.
Joe West, yeah.
Yeah, and then I forgot how he got caught or what happened or whatnot, but he got in a lot of trouble.
I think he
his
posted like a
mom
receipt.
got
He
fired,
he posted like a receipt or order confirmation with his mom's last name on the credit card. Like,
too.
Oh my
no, and
goodness.
it's crazy because that dude was so ahead of his time. It was ridiculous because he was doing all that stuff, and then he had like one of the biggest discords like in the reselling space like ever.
How many people were in it?
I don't know, but it was like $250, and there was a lot of people in it.
Damn.
A month.
Jeez. Well,
That's
when you were
crazy.
talking about, so I guess you had a lot of money in high school. How much did you have? Like six figures in high school, or did you reach that mark yet?
No, I was a little bit under that, and then I started Amazon that summer, and I just took like I don't know how much it was. Maybe it was like 5 or 10K. I put the rest in my savings. I'm like, I'm not losing the rest of this. We're just gonna. So like, I have like a decent savings or whatever. Like if I leverage credit cards or if I leverage loans, it's like I'm still covered because I have like a bunch of money packed away. But I was like, I'm not losing this much money again. So I just put that much money into Amazon and just started scaling.
How'd that feel in high school to be that kid with all that money? I bet you were richer than your entire school together, huh?
Dude, it was awesome.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, and that's like really smart because that's super rare. Like a lot of people just keep playing the game and then progressively lose a chip at a time, and then before you know it, you've lost a lot of chips, and you're like, "Damn!" Like I should have took. Like that's like I was actually talking to someone the other day about like because I was like kind of freaking out. Like every time around my birthday, like my birthday's in like 3 weeks. I'm just like, oh man, like I gotta like think about retirement, even though I'm like nowhere close to like retiring. Probably never will because I just like working and stuff. And like I was like talking to him, I was like, yeah, man, like this is I don't know, it freaks me out. Like I don't know if like I'll have enough or whatever. And like he's like, what do you have in like retirement and savings? I like sent him, and like he ran the numbers, and he's like, dude, like you're gonna have like $3 or $4 million. Like if you just contribute the max out the Roth, like you continue to do, like every month, like I take out a certain amount. I max out the Roth IRA. I also have like a 401k or whatever. He's like, that alone is going to get you to that number. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, I am not worried at all anymore.
And how old are you, Sadeq?
20.
Yeah, you're not worried about
Damn.
retirement for a while. You in college?
Yeah. I'm just at community college. Little backstory for why I went to college. I went to a
You
trade
teach
high
a
school.
class.
I went to
Yeah, I
a
go to college. I teach a class.
no. I went to a trade high school. I didn't go to a traditional high school. So they teach like a bunch of trades there, and I did programming and digital design. I got second in the state of PA for digital design, and I
Wow.
got second in the state for programming as well. So like Adobe, all that stuff, like VS Code, all that stuff, Java, I'm good with. So I was like, can't just like not do this. So like I had to go. So I just went to community college. I'll be done next semester, and I'm not going to go to a 4-year.
What's your plan with it? That seems like a pretty good skill.
It's just boring. Like, I was good at it, but I don't like it.
Yeah, it makes sense. Is there not some way you can integrate it in with what you're doing now, or do you?
Probably, but I've just been using ChatGPT and all this other stuff for so long. It's like, no, thank you anymore.
Like, do you want to make like? Could you make software?
Probably not.
Oh, I don't know if that translated with all your.
No, I mean, if I kept it going after high school and just kept going, probably, but no way now.
Oh, so you've like lost the skill or something?
No, I can definitely get it back. It's just I've lost the interest of it because I did it for 4 years in high school, and it was like it was cool to go to a trade high school like that too. Because imagine if I went to college for the 4 years and I just realized I didn't like it anymore. You know?
Yeah.
That is cool. I wish I had like a trade high school. I would definitely be down to that. Like learn how to web develop or like do something I actually want to do instead of like math and English and crap that I don't use anymore. Like, what do you need to know in math? Like addition, subtraction, like money math. That's the only math you need to know.
Yeah, it's funny your trade high school was that kind of stuff. See, we had a trade high school where I'm from West Virginia. It was like welding and like fixing cars and
Oh
shit.
no, it has all of that. There's like 28 different trades. It has all of it.
When I think of trade high school, I'm like just manual labor, like a whole group of it. But okay,
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. How many people were in the high school like that?
It was like 400 per grade, so like 1,600.
Wow, that's big.
And they're all just did you take normal classes or was it just focused on like what your thing was?
It was a week of normal classes, block scheduling. So like the traditional high school, I'm pretty sure it's like 45 minutes classes. I was doing like block scheduling, so it was an hour and a half of math, an hour and a half of reading, hour and a half of social studies, and whatever science was the other hour and a half. And then the next week would just be me in the shop the entire time.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. I feel like that's how high school should be. That's crazy. I've never even heard of that. I can't. Have you heard of that, John? You're in PA.
No, I've never heard of that.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, but I think a lot of high schools should switch like that because I remember getting out and I'm like, I have no clue what I'm going to do. Yeah, so I assume focusing back on you, I guess this is what you plan on doing forever. Or do you have what's your kind of like goal with all of it? I hate when people ask me that on podcasts, but here we are.
No, it's fine. I don't know. It's like a lot of the stuff revolves too. Like I sold candy in 8th grade. Took that money, did like Amazon to eBay drop shipping, made some money there. Got the job just because I realized I needed a lot more money to even be able to like do any of these businesses or make money off the money I have. And that turned into sneakers, and then now we're at Amazon. Like I just think it's going to keep evolving, especially if I keep meeting and networking with a bunch of other guys who have the information I want. Yeah.
And do you have any like goal with any of it? Like at a certain age, you have whatever?
Yeah, I want to have $1 million before 23.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
mine was 25, but I'm 25 right now, and I do not have $1 million. So we failed that goal. We extended it 2 more years. Yeah, that's a good goal, dude. You could definitely get there, especially at the rate you're on, man. Like you're just like I feel like you're so network with people. Some opportunity will pump up where you're gonna make all the money. That's kind of what I've learned about the older I get to. It's like you're just in the grind all the time, and you're not just. I mean, is Amazon going to make you $1 million? Maybe, maybe not.
Probably not.
But you'll have some opportunity that gets you there. You know, I don't know if you saw my tweet yesterday, but I talked about that. Of like, can Amazon actually get you to $1 million? Like, run the numbers. I don't know if you saw that one.
No, I saw it. Yeah,
that was a bit. That's kind of what I thought about all of it. It's like, man, this is great, but I don't know if I'm gonna hit $1 million with this thing. So, yeah, but you'll have some opportunity.
What'd your candy business look like in middle school? I sold candy in middle school too. I was thinking about it the other day, like because at our middle school there was like a thing where like there was a gas station and it was literally like a block or 2 down, and like the only way you could go to the gas station is your parents sign a permission slip, and like a lot of people's parents wouldn't sign the permission slip because it was like dangerous to walk to or whatever. And like I was one of the ones whose parents signed. My parents signed it. So I always used to go over there and I was just slinging like lollipops, gum, like Bubblicious. It was like, and then you just sling it when everyone's like waiting for the bus. I loved it.
Yeah, I would just go to BJ's, which is like a Costco or whatever, every weekend, get the variety packs. They were like, I don't remember how much they cost, but I would just sell them for like $1 to $2 if it was like rare candy, like blue Skittles. You just couldn't get that at like Wawa or 7-Eleven. So I was selling it for like $2 or whatever. And then I would have a locker. I just did it at the locker in the morning. And then there was another locker that was broken. That's where I would just put the candy.
And
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Innovative business there.
He was like, you were wholesaling in basically middle school.
Yeah. You were early. You never got robbed?
Nope.
Oh, that's pretty good.
I was the cool kid. I couldn't get robbed.
That's true.
Yeah, it's true. No one wants the guy who like sells the candy to be out of candy. Like that's just a bad idea.
Yeah, there's no more candy. So yeah, I got. So you said you want $1 million by 23. You got any other goals? What else do you do in your life? You got any other things outside of just business, or is this all you're focused on?
This is all I'm focused on now. I had like a bunch of gym goals of like 225 bench. I hit that a while ago. I was like, that's cool. That's all I really cared about for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, I forgot you're like pretty jacked. Yeah. It's funny on these podcasts, no one looks jacked because we're all like head up or whatever.
Yeah.
But I remember seeing your thing and I was like, damn, this guy, yeah. Oh,
This
so you
dude's definitely jacked. I've seen him in person, like twice now? For sure.
sick, dude. That's the basketball thing, man. You play basketball long enough when you get into weightlifting, you can get pretty jacked pretty easy. Yeah, I used to play in high school too.
Yeah.
Like it set you a good frame for it or whatever.
Well, that and then basketball was taking up like 3.5 hours per day with like commute and then like literally 3 hour practice. Like we went to states and everything, like 3 out of 4 of my years. Like we were pretty good. And it's like the season just ended my senior year. I'm like, what am I gonna do now? So I just went to the gym every day for like a year straight. Like I don't think I probably missed less than 5 days in a year.
Damn.
Wow. That is good.
Did you have any goals with the basketball? Did you ever want to play D1 or D2 or anything?
I did, but like I'm 5'10". I wasn't even the best of my team or anything. It's like it slowly went away.
Yeah, it's sad, man. I've been 5'11" and a half, basically, almost 6 foot tall since 7th grade. I was like, I'm going to the NBA for sure. I get my senior year, and I'm like, well, we made no progress on that front. These goals are dead for sure. Basketball is like the saddest thing, man, because when you're young, it's like you have all this potential, and then you just realize if you don't grow, it's just a tall guy's sport. Like there's nothing you can really do about it. Yeah, and then you get
you that dream because there's always one white kid.
Yeah.
Like March Madness, who's like a JJ Redick type, and you're just like, I'm taller than him. Like I could be that guy. Like I could be that guy from like some random high school, and then it's like they come out, they're like, you ain't that guy. Like it's not happening.
They sell it to you, and then they give you the quotes of like heart over height or whatever, and then you just keep going.
Yeah, and then you play something 6'7", you're like, I don't care how much heart I got. There's nothing I can do.
There's nothing I can do. Yeah,
that's funny.
It's cool though because it sets you up for like business and everything too, of like showing up every day, determination, like getting better, like all that stuff sets you up so well.
Yeah, 100%, man. Especially like you go through the hard practices. Like I'm sure you had some hard practices, stuff like that, and you always have bad coaches. And like after I experienced that, I'm like, there's no way anything in my life's gonna be that much worse than that kind of stuff. When you're a kid too. Yeah, so whenever anything bad happens now, I'm like, well, it could always be worse. I just got to stick to doing what I'm doing, taking a big loss in a game or whatever. Yeah, it definitely sets you up better. In the moment, you don't really realize it, but yeah, when you get out of there, you realize how many lessons it brings on you.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a big thing. What are some of the big challenges you face in your business?
I don't really know, bro. Like a lot of it's easy, but just like sourcing, because it's like if I'm spending like 70, 80K a month, like I said, I'm probably only finding half of it. Like it's not. I think the team training is kind of where I have no experience, and I'm trying to like help these like sourcing VAs or whatever. Like I think that's the only part where it's like pretty tough because I have no experience and I'm trying to figure it out with them. You know.
Yeah.
So how would you? Okay, so this is a good question. So how would you go about like, let's say someone is a kind of like a lone wolf or whatever, right? Like how would they go about creating a circle or kind of getting to where you were? So I'm guessing, well, you started in sneaker botting, so you probably had like a bunch of people that you already knew or whatever. But if you were just starting out, like how would you go about it to like kind of get that group?
Yeah, there's a couple ways you could do it. If you just join a paid, like good community like Arbops, like you're gonna find a lot of high quality people in there. One, because it's $100 a month, and it's like not everyone's gonna pay that. And then they're all in there for the same reason. They want to make more money and they want to like get better at Amazon. So it's like you find a lot of high quality people in there. Maybe jump in VC, whether it's like the roadmap or like Arbops or whatever, right? Like there's high quality people in there because they're motivated to make more money, which is like that's where I found the people initially. Or you just go the free route of like social media, post like, hey, first shipment, or hey, I'm sourcing with the boys tonight. Or if you're, well, I guess if you're alone, you're not, but you know, just like post whatever you're doing. Obviously don't put any like revealing information out there of like what you're buying and whatnot. But I mean, you know, people want to be friends with people who are doing cool things. So
yeah, on that note, on the social media, PSA, if you are new and you're hearing this message, do not make a post and tag 25 people in the Twitter post. That's not how Twitter works. I get those all the time. And guess what? It's a block every time. Stop tagging me. I don't care.
Automatic block.
Created my first shipment. Drew FBA in the middle. Dude, no, I don't care. I'm happy for you, but stop tagging me. You're blowing up my mentions because everybody's telling you, congrats, man. Thanks. whatever, dude. Get out of there. But social media is good. I think taking the paid route's a better idea. Because I think if you have money, yeah, because it does filter people. Like when you're on social media, also you don't know who you're really talking to. But if you're talking to somebody that's paid this money or they're paying it ongoing, they have money. So they know what they're doing rather than just like you trying to organically do it. So I think that's really good point you hit on there.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Because, yeah, like that's just a certain person, like an individual who's willing to invest in themselves. So if they're willing to invest in themselves, they're looking for other people who are kind of like similar to them or kind of want to get on that like same level. And I think that's a really big part of that. And I noticed that a lot, like just kind of running kind of the school. It's just like, that's why I did not go the free route. Because when you go the free route, there's nothing wrong with that. You just attract a lot of headaches. And like that's not a knock on anything. But like you get a lot of bots, you get a lot of VAs, you got a lot of people who are in there like hawking their own shit or whatever. But like once you ask someone to pay or something, that kind of like weeds all that shit out. And you get like this higher quality person who actually like wants to grow their business. And like that's kind of what I wanted to build with the school, which is like nice. And yeah, that's kind of how I like to go about it. And it's a quicker route, right? Because, like, if you're going to build a social media presence, it really takes someone to, like, go out of their way to be like, congrats on your first shipment, right?
Yeah.
Like, I know people, I try to help everyone. I try to respond to all the DMs. It's just not possible in, like, a given day, especially if you're trying to do things. But it's like when you see someone, like, if like I was like following Sadeq and he posted once and then he posted again and then he posted another time, it's like, oh shit, he did his first 10K. Like that's all. Like it just takes a while to like get on that radar or like kind of see like that progress or whatever. And then it's like, yeah, you get all these DMs all the time. It's like, oh, I like to help everyone, give everyone the benefit of the doubt, but it's just like hard to like know what's what. But if you pay to be in a group, that just like really escalates it because then you have like access. If you're in RBOPs and someone DMs you, you're like, oh, okay. Like this is like somewhat serious. Like we're in the same group. Like this isn't spam. It's just different.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, RBOPs used to do these little challenges where they would group you up with other people. It was like for Q4 or something. I remember being put in there with two guys. One was doing more than me, and one guy was like at 4K a month. I don't know how they decided that like number, but it was really cool because it got you in like a group of people. And you were trying to find the best lead. I don't know if you guys were in there when that was going on, but
I
yeah, they used to
remember that.
Yeah, it was sweet. I think maybe they only did it once or twice. I don't know why they don't keep doing it. Oh, the RBOPs guys, they don't really push the stuff very much. I don't know why. It's weird. It's like you have a group, push it more, but they don't really push the marketing or anything. It's kind of like a person. You know how a lot of these groups have like their automated stuff that go out really? Yeah, it's like you don't know who's behind it. I think most people think Soros is still behind it. It's like he's not even affiliated with that.
That's what I'm saying. Like a lot of people ask me like, that's Soros' group, right? I'm like, no.
No, he left. Yeah, it's also interesting. Like, I think that, who knows, maybe that gives it like appeal for more people to join because they don't push it that hard. And like the numbers yeah, because I remember when I first heard about it, I heard it from Drew. He's like, oh yeah, I'm an RBOPs. I'm like, what the hell is that? It's like, are they legit? Like, what is it? And he's like, oh yeah, like these big sellers are in there. I'm like, okay, like I'll just sign up. And then I was like, oh damn, like this is an insane group. But like I had no idea. I didn't see it. I mainly like hang out on Instagram. So I'm not really on Twitter I'm on Twitter, but like more for the beef and the drama and all that kind of stuff. Do you follow like the beef and the drama on Twitter?
I'm on there a lot, so I see it all the time.
Do you have a favorite beef or issue that people have had?
Yeah, it was with this private label guy and Max Carter, who's 14 years old, and they were getting into it. He's like, actually, I'm not going to repeat it, but it was very funny. It was like a 40-year-old man beefing with a 14-year-old.
I had a reply to that guy. It's the John guy.
Yeah.
Gosh, that guy's a dork, man. I hate that guy. I blocked him a while ago, and he still was popping up from that beef. And I was like, man, you're sitting here beefing with kids, like clearly slinging your stuff.
Yeah.
And he's always just like shitting on everybody. Gosh, that guy's annoying.
Is that the PL guy?
Yeah.
I know who he is.
Yeah, that's got to be top 5 most annoying accounts on Twitter. Guaranteed. Yeah, beefing with a 14-year-old. Are you kidding me? That's crazy. What other kind of beefs? You got any other? I'm not really on there as much now. I see it when Hamza does it, Dr. FBA.
Yeah.
He was in my mentorship program. That guy's
Yeah.
always starting something.
It's good though, because it's like it at least brings attention, and people know what to avoid. Like a lot of people didn't even know what fraud labels were for a long time.
Yeah.
Like it was a sneaker
for
reselling
sure.
thing for a long time.
Yeah, that's kind of how I made my following on Twitter a bit. I would just call people out and quote tweet people and stuff. But I mean, now it's like I hate getting into that stuff. But
That was probably had to be one of your top tweets when you like broke down. Was it the Prime shipping?
yeah,
You're like, listen, even if you do like even let's just say like hypothetically, like you had to pay like this great rate for shipping, it's still not even possible.
yeah.
Yeah.
And the guys, they were trying to like prove me wrong or something. Like, guys, just say you're committing fraud, whatever. Like, just I know I'm not wrong here. That's funny. I don't know. Is there as much Twitter beef as anymore?
Not that much anymore. There was like a span of a couple months where there was just so much, and it was hilarious.
Like every day there was something, someone complaining about returns, someone complaining about giving away leads. Like those were the worst. I hated those. When someone like post like a lead, they'd be like, oh, like because there was one that I was on and I got into like a pretty like back and forth with this person. I'm like, why are you doing that? Like you're not helping anyone. Like that was like always my big argument. I was like, if you're sharing a lead with like 50, 60 people, you're actually hurting everyone. Because everyone's going to buy that. And then like everyone on that listing is going to get storefront stock. And then like just a bunch of people lose money. Like you are not helping anyone. But that was like a big thing to like build your following. It's just so funny to see like all the trends that like go on. Like I feel like you don't see as much as like comment below and leave this, or it just like kind of dies down. I guess these trends, they go in and out, or people just like Arbops call them out and then they just cower away. Or Ant goes after them hard and then they close up shop.
Yeah. Well, Sadeq, you got any questions for us? This is a really professional podcast. We ask you if you have questions for
Yeah.
us. The only reason I ask that, though, is because you watch all of our stuff. You've messaged me with some pretty cool questions and stuff in the past. But I just wonder if there's anything on your head that you wanted to talk about or any questions in general that you think would be beneficial to other people as well.
I don't know if I have any like off the top of my head, but how's your marketing and everything going?
Yeah, it's decent. It's hard, man. It's like, I guess when you do a business and you're successful, you think, well, I'm good, so I can make it work anywhere. And it's just not like that. Like you have like soft skills. Like I know how to learn. I know how to network. I know how to, maintain my ground when I'm talking to other people and stuff like that. But I don't know any of these other skills. So that's a really hard part of it. I would say that to anybody. If you're trying to get into something new, it's tough. It's not like I'm not doing anything, but it just takes time, to learn. And then the problem with the marketing and stuff like that, Amazon's such a good feedback loop. You buy a product, you sell a product, you get the money. Like it's super constant. With this stuff, it's like you build a project, you build these funnels, you build your marketing system that you're going to use, and then you launch it. And then if it sucks, you just scrap it all and you redo. Or you have to like redo something. So you can get really in the hole with stuff. That's kind of what I'm like overcoming right now. But it's whatever. I've learned a lot about it. And I can see stuff too in the Amazon space that I'm like, if I could change some stuff with certain people and how they're marketing their stuff, or if they could do it, it'd just be way better. So that's good no matter what. Will I go back to Amazon? Likely not, but because I'm pretty passionate about the marketing thing. It's fun.
Yeah, and then you're running like meme pages or like theme page. I meant theme pages. You're running theme pages too, right?
Yeah, I'm running one. Yeah, and I'm going to start more. So I'm trying to like make a final offer. It's going to be like a fitness type of offer. And I'm going to push the traffic through a lot of the theme pages because theme pages are cool because you can just kind of take content from TikTok or take content from other places and just redo it a little bit. You get all this free traffic. Like, I've got 5.4 million views in the last 30 days on my page. And if every video that goes viral, I just go to the caption, I change it. This is actually some sauce if somebody's doing this. Comment or DM me a word, and then I'll send you this guide. And dude, my DMs just explode. There's like 100 plus DMs right now I'm waiting on. So I'm just going to go through those and just send all those people the link. If you even get like 10, 20% to convert, it's pretty good money. And it takes me no time, man. I have a VA that just uploads the videos every day.
Yeah, that stuff's pretty cool too because I had like a sneaker news page or whatever, and that's how I was funneling it into into the Discord. I think at the peak I had close to 100 people at
Wow.
$50 a month. So that was in high school as well, which was pretty cool. And then I got rid of it. Like I merged with another group. They paid me a bunch of money. They got the page after I was done with them and everything too. But it got up to I'm pretty sure it was 19 or 20K followers. And
Wow.
a lot of it was like I would just make the graphics of like the sneaker that was coming up with like the release date, like the retail price, the potential resale. Like that was cool. And then you would just the reels were a game changer at that time too, because it's like you could literally just take people's content and then tag them, and just because I had like 15, 20,000 followers, they would like thank me in their DMs, and I was like, cool, I just got 2 million views.
Dang.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's good. Yeah, dude, 100 people at $50 a month off of 20,000 followers is really good. My page has got like 24,000 followers, and I don't even have like that kind of engagement on it. So that's really impressive.
It was like a hot time too of like sneakers and like I don't know. I was getting a lot of accounts reached too. There was like multiple videos that had over 1 million, and it was just me reposting their content.
Interesting. Yeah, I guess there's probably less volume too, and like more organic and all that good stuff. What do you think the future of Amazon is? Are you bullish? Are you bearish? What's your thoughts?
I don't really know. I don't really want to be doing it forever anyway. Like another year or so, maybe. Yeah, probably like a year or two. Probably how long I'm going to be in it anyway, and then move on to the next opportunity that's higher leverage with more money to tackle at it. You know,
Yeah.
we're just printing as much cash as possible right now, and then we're going to be ready for the next opportunity.
Do you have any idea what you want the next opportunity to be?
I have no clue, but I'll be ready with the network and the money by then.
Yeah, that's the cool part about the online business stuff, man. It's like there's always new things coming out, like all the time. Like the TikTok shop thing. Like
Yeah,
that
that's
is so
huge.
huge right now. Yeah. And there'll be something else. Like there's just every few years there's just more markets that open up. Yeah,
I think
ideally.
there has to be. Like, I feel like there's going to be a new social media platform. Like, it's so due. Like, we've had the same ones forever, and it's so hard to do. But I honestly think there's going to be one that like comes out.
I think YouTube Shopping just got announced too, which is kind of cool.
Oh, that's
Really?
huge.
What's
Yeah.
that about?
It's like TikTok Shop, but for YouTube.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's going to be cool. And then I also think a lot of people in the Amazon space think Amazon's like the only business model. Like I know a kid named David. He's 18 years old, maybe 19 now. It's like he opened up a cleaning business, like a local service-based business, and he's making more money there.
Is that David?
Does ecom?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
follow him. Yeah, it's crazy. I saw he just posted like, what do you get? Like a $4,000 order the other day or something like that.
Yeah, like
I
that's
was like,
insane.
damn.
And half these Amazon guys don't even like they don't even acknowledge that like there's other business models out there.
There's another guy. I can't. It's like I think they changed the name, but it was like JML or something, like Adventure Blog or something. And he was doing something where he's just like power washing like driveways, and then he's like hanging lights during Christmas, taking the lights down, and doing all this stuff. And he's like crushing it. I think he did $1 million or something last year. Just kind of
Nice.
doing these odd jobs, and he basically just like I think he rented a van, and then like the power washer that like goes in the van. I think he ended up buying like one of his own, but like yeah, he just started by like renting it and just like doing the math. It's like okay, like if I rented this and did this job, like I'd make $200, or and then he just kind of figured out the math. And yeah, it's just interesting to kind of see like yeah, like what else you could do with the money that you make, or just other business ventures that you could do. I honestly think like the whole Amazon influencer thing that's going on, I think everyone's going to have one of those. Like, I think that rules into like Walmart, Target, like YouTube. So, like, if you have followings on all this stuff, like Instagram will probably get better. Like, they're going to follow TikTok and do like the shoppable stuff if they don't already like kind of have that. I think that is going to be like the next kind of big push or whatever, because everyone's going to want content. And especially with the private label people, like doing the influencer program, like I have so many people reaching out to me on Instagram to do brand deals with them and like make videos for their stuff. And it's just like, it's crazy. Like, and they're paying me to do these videos. And it's like, I feel like it's just tipped the iceberg.
Yeah, 100%. Have you dove into anything else? Like looked into anything else?
Private label is something that like intrigues me a lot, especially with like I don't know, TikTok Shop and Amazon. It's like a pretty crazy combo. If you ever seen like Rob the Bank, the genius CEO, that guy, like he did like 1.1 million on Amazon and then like a million on TikTok in the same month, and that's like
Damn.
insanity. And he sold his last company for 30 million. Like
Yeah.
that stuff, like I don't know, that stuff's super cool to me. Like the exits.
Yeah, the exit thing is really cool. That was kind of what I had in mind when I first started things, but I don't know, man. I gotta get better at building these systems. Like, if you're gonna have an exit, you have to be a really big, like, you have to have a system in place for someone to buy something from you. That's like a whole process in itself, you know. Especially when you're in the Amazon space, you can kind of get away with no systems at all because you're just a reseller. You're not really a business owner. You know, most people aren't. So, yeah. There's I don't know.
Do you think you'll do private label?
Probably, yeah. I think if I had to like pick right now where what I would be doing in like 2 years from now, it would probably be private label.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
That's pretty. We tried.
Yeah, we tried.
Now that if I know what I knew now, I don't even know if I would have even started to do that. I would have been like, dude, we need to get an idea and then take it to Shopify and do it that way. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe
if we did it today, knowing what you know about marketing now, I think we could have had something up and like, or like get something shitty from like Alibaba or something just to test the concept, and like knowing that we're gonna like shut down that Shopify page and then like take it to Amazon a little later or redo a Shopify page or whatever. But back then it was just like, yeah, like we're gonna be the next kill crew. And like exit, and then it just never happened. We had too much other stuff going on.
Yeah, it's tough. Which I guess I don't know what the big difference between like private label and just launching it on Shopify or TikTok Shop and that kind of stuff. I don't know what Amazon really brings to the table, because from what I understand, it's like a lot harder to get your stuff ranked on there without paying a lot of money in ads and that kind of thing. There's the problem with me with the Amazon stuff is when it comes to private label is there is a limited amount of space like there. Like there's only 4 products per like thing at the top or whatever. Like there's only 4 people on the 4 products that are shown. So yeah, it's like the more people that get on there, that advertising is going to get really, really expensive. But I'm not a private label guy. And there's obviously guys that sell their companies for millions. So yeah, whatever. But I don't know. The power of the organic marketing just seems pretty cool. Because you can make a video, man, and make like $1 million from a video. You know, one video going viral. Yeah.
I've seen it. Not necessarily one video, but like a couple that hit. I've seen it multiple times from people my age. And I'm like, this is insane.
Yeah, I just had a conversation about that with somebody yesterday. I had an experience like that last year. That's one of the reasons I got out of the Amazon, because I was like, nothing I can do with this business can allow me to make that much money in a day. Like, I can't control the income I make here, like, isn't in fluctuation or whatever. But if you have a business that's an info product, or you even have an e-com business that you can back order, you know, like even if you run out of stock, you can, you know, put people on a wait list. Like one piece of content can make you hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars and create you a brand. Like, you know, there's brands built overnight, but one piece of content goes viral. Now somebody's famous for the next like 3 years. Yeah. Like look at Sketch. I don't know if you guys see that Sketch streamer guy. What's up, brother? He's like a streamer. Have you seen that guy?
Sketch, yeah.
Like, okay, a few pieces of content go viral, and now that guy's like probably set for life if he rides that out correctly. Like that's an extremely high leverage like opportunity there.
I mean, I guess like Sam Sulek too. I mean, like
exactly.
He just blew up out of nowhere, just like posting fitness shit, and now it's like everyone wants to make Sam Sulek content, and it's like, damn, like he's like a verb now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy.
Well, anybody got anything else? Sadeq, you got any final words of wisdom for the people?
What are words of wisdom for the people?
I have none. I don't know.
Not one thing. If you had to give a piece of advice for somebody, I'd say they're struggling right now with their Amazon business.
Oh, if they're struggling with their Amazon business, I don't know. Just try to get it around like guys that are motivated and, you know, want the same thing as you, because that makes everything so much easier. Because it's like it's not you doing all the work anymore. It's like a group effort, you know. So
that makes sense.
That's what I got.
Wow, that was insightful. That's good.
Where can everyone find you?
Yeah, it's just Sadiq Wahab on Twitter and Instagram.
All right, cool deal, guys. Go give him a follow. Thanks so much for being here, man. We really appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment what you think of Sadiq's words of wisdom, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.